Welcome to St. Andrews Football Show with Coach Robert Curtin. I'm Mark Plemmons with 485 Sports and Radio Free Cabarrus. And Coach, since we last talked last fall, man, a lot's been going on for the Knights, and kind of give us a little bit of an idea of what you've been doing in the off season, and we'll kind of get to the summer.
Yes, sir. First of all, thanks for having me. Thanks for allowing us to represent the university and the community. We're pretty excited. In the off season, this is our first full year with the coaching staff. We bring everybody back that was here last year, and we added a coach, Mike McClure, out of Southern Lee. It was the former head coach there, Coastal Carolina player. So we've got a really good staff coming back for us, and that allowed us to focus on our spring and the 55 players that are coming back, which we're really proud of. Retention for us at a small school is huge. So we were able to sort of codify our offense a little more. You won't see any difference to the offense that we ran last year, other than now we know the offense a little better. And then our defense, we're going to go back to a traditional 3-4. Okay, defense. We'll cover 3, cover 4. We're going to be very transparent throughout the whole year. That's what we tell our kids. We want to play really good, simple, basic football to the best of our abilities. And then let the chips fall where they may. We had a fantastic spring blue-white game. So we had our 15 practices and a blue-white game where we about had close to 800 community members, family members, everybody come out, and just it was the first blue-white game that we've had here in some time. And it was a really positive way forward. It sort of set the stage for what's to come. And what I mean by that is we had a lot of our recruits come and just watch, some blue-white St. Andrews football. So, and that's how we ended the season, handed everybody their summer workout plans and asked them to keep us informed and just work out and come back ready to play hard.
Now, Coach, after the spring game, of course, you've had some recruiting in the process. I know initially, I think they said you signed 24 people and even got a couple during the summer. Kind of give us a little idea about that recruiting class and some of the folks you brought in.
Yeah, so with just 50 guys coming back, you can't really run a successful program. There's no depth. We went after very, very hard. We targeted certain players in certain positions, and I believe we found a lot of success. We found a good percentage of kids that were transferring from another good program into ours. We've gotten some JUCO players, and then we've got about 60 freshmen coming in. And while most people will be like, "Oh my goodness," that puts our team only at about 125, 130. We'll travel with 70, but that allows us to have real depth, have real developmental players that really want to help us turn the program around over the course of the next several years. We're really proud of this recruiting class. We're hoping to bring in another 8 to 10 before the school year starts. And right now, I put out a sort of a dictate that says, hey, if you're sitting at home right now and you're not playing and you think you could and you're a developmental player, come here, invest in yourself, invest in your academics, and we'll get you on the field one way or another. But the recruiting class is really big. We don't hide anything. We post everything to our social media. And here's why I'll tell you what's important about a good class, and our message has been so many kids these days, they'll tell you, hey, I'm a D1 player, I'm this, I'm that, and we're like, absolutely fine. I will tell you right now that St. Andrews has the toughest NAI football schedule in the country. We're going to start out with Weber, and then we're going to go to number 4, 6, 25 Davidson, FCS Davidson, and then we'll get number 8 Reinhardt. And there's no tougher schedule than that. So if you're an athlete, you're a football player, and you want an opportunity, St. Andrews is going to provide that for you. And I'm really excited about the kids that we have coming in, the young men that we have coming in. They're excited, they're motivated, and they understand that football is the vehicle to the next steps in their lives, and that's getting that degree and then getting out to the world and being a productive member of society.
Coach, and you mentioned the 50 players, the 50, 55, you come back. That's not only a testament to your guys, but that's a testament to your guys in the classroom being able to stay eligible and be able to come back.
Sure. One of the things that I tell every parent that comes in here, if you have a young man or woman, I don't care, and that doesn't play football, may play soccer or whatever, there's a small classroom environment here of 12 to 15. I think the largest class I saw was about 18, and that was driven by the students. They wanted to be in this professor's class. The professors work hard. They will meet the kids where they're at. They will get them up to standard, and they work with them. And all they ask is that these young men and women come to the school understanding the importance. So I'd love to say that it was simply the coaches. Though I have amazing coaches, I really am very proud of the staff. I'm really excited about our new president, who's come here and made some great adjustments. I don't want to say changes, they're adjustments, and our professors who continue to hold the line academically and allow our guys to be eligible. So we're excited about those 50 guys, sir.
And those folks you brought in, I know the first group I saw, Coach, I saw 7 or 8 quarterbacks, and I was kidding you on the telephone the other day about why you got so many quarterbacks, but you had a good reason for that.
Yes, sir. So, we want to compete at everything we do. We want to compete everywhere, at every position. Last year we had 1 quarterback and we had 1 backup. This year, we want to compete at the highest levels. And so if you think you're that quarterback, and I know we've got a D1 coming in, we've got, who I would say was here before in Jalen. Jalen's a phenomenal guy. He's already got his associate's degree when he transferred in January. We have several quarterbacks there that, to me, have the ability to make significant impact. But if we're not competing amongst ourselves in a healthy manner, there's no way we can compete with anyone outside these walls, of St. Andrews. But I will tell you that, Mason Price, Darius Holly, Matthew, Bladen, and Dylan and Jalen, every one of those guys has a winning attitude. And I think it's going to be an incredible fall camp. And I'm really just excited to see where the chips fall. One of the things I would tell you this, sir, is my assessment coming in was, we were everybody's homecoming, parade, if you will. And every game, the quote unquote, the enemy was occupying our minds. We didn't occupy anyone else's mind. And so that's the first significant change that we made in the program is we went after players. We specifically targeted players, no matter how good or how much work they needed, that came from high school or college organizations that understood how to win, how to accept loss and get better, and how to challenge themselves and their buddies to their left and their right. We wanted to win the mental game first. And I think this recruiting class is going to help us do that.
Mental toughness is one of the biggest things in football.
Yes, sir.
You can overcome some lack of athleticism by being tougher.
Right. We can, but we went into every game and we had the enemy in our minds for free. They were in there, and we need to be so confident up here in what we're capable of doing. It's almost that we've stolen sort of the New England coach's mantra: just do your job and do it to the best of your ability. And when that happens, you'll have individual excellence, and that's how I define individual excellence: is doing the best you can for yourself. And we will put you, and it's my responsibility and the coaches to put these players in positions so that they can succeed. And that's what we're going to do. And one of the things that, everybody loves to throw around terms like grit and this and that. And I tell folks, when you come to St. Andrews, you're going to have to, you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to push a little more than you thought, no matter how athletic or how talented, and for me, sacrifice begins where your comfort zone ends, and everyone's comfort zone ends at a different position, a different place on their individual timeline. And we've got to master that. And that's the mental game. So, just because you see a guy getting out there working really hard, has he pushed beyond his comfort zone? Has he sacrificed? And that's what we're trying to get each and every individual. And that's why this recruiting class was so important to us.
Coach, now take us over the next few weeks. We're taping this on July 24th. So
yes, sir.
I had to look at my watch too. I don't know the day of the week most of the time, Coach. But
same here.
What we go over the next. I know you got Lewisburg coming up. Is that a regular game, a scrimmage? What is the Lewisburg game?
So Lewisburg was just a scrimmage.
Okay.
We're not doing that now because Lewisburg will not have enough practices to safely do it. Okay. So the coach and I are looking at other ways for our guys to see each other, potentially, not a scrimmage, but like a partial practice But it was initially going to be a very controlled scrimmage where, I'll be honest with you, Lewisburg's the only junior college in all of North Carolina, and I want to use that as a potential pipeline for great North Carolina kids to come here next. But, over the course of the next few weeks, we get here on the 3rd and 4th. The 3rd will be our returners, and the 4th will be our 85 new personnel. And we'll go ahead and do sort of a 3 to 4 day acclimation period where we just get the guys going all day long. We get them, in their shirts and T-shirts and whatnot, and then we'll do the traditional 2 helmets, 2 helmets and shoulder pads, and then 2 full day pads, and we'll get back into a good rhythm. One of the things I will tell you, though, is as we work the mental game, as we get mentally tougher and more deliberate in our mental abilities, our requirements during practice will slowly and deliberately increase. So whereas last year we sort of hit our plateau very early on what we thought the players could do, this year we're expecting much more, and we will let them know that expectation. We didn't have the most successful seasons, and I don't know how to define success right now in terms of wins and losses, but I could do it in terms of statistics, little things that I want to improve, the coaching staff wants to improve. But it's going to be a very challenging fall football camp. And I think the returners understand that. They're ready for it. And we have certainly conveyed that message to everyone coming in. Do not show up out of shape. Do not show up mentally and physically prepared to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. And because we want our practices, we want our whiteboard sessions and film sessions to be the challenge. We want Saturdays to be the enjoyment. That's where the fruits of our labor, are allowed us to pick great things. And so that's what we want to do.
Coach, I know a lot of coaches I talk to, the game, whether it's a high school game on Friday night or a college game on Saturday, the game is the reward.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And I think, and I tell the coaching staff, really the only challenge for us is to make sure that we have prepared our student athletes to play in that game. And then when the time comes, we put them in a position to be successful. And then we let them go play and have fun. And, that's certainly the mantra on the defensive side of things. It's a very streamlined defense. We put the 3-4 in there. We recruited 3-4 athletes. We brought in I'm telling you, our defensive coordinator did a good job putting the game plan together. And we bring in Coach Mike McClure. We bring in a GA, and we want the kids to just play. If you look at our defensive statistics last year, we struggled mightily. And so we want to make sure that doesn't happen again. And all I care about is improvements. The score will take care of itself. The kids are going to have fun, but we got to make sure we put them in a position to be successful so they can enjoy themselves.
Coach, I know you mentioned the defense. I thought we got worn down a lot last year. We played really good stretches, and it seemed to be that almost like that breaking point somewhere late third quarter, sometimes early fourth quarter.
Oh, yes, sir. And that truthfully was about depth. When we were traveling with 55, 58, after you had your red shirts, after you had guys that may have gotten injured, we had a couple injuries, nothing long-term or sustained significant injuries, but that wears you down, especially in the league that we're in, the conference that we're in. And we got worn down. We were in some games where I thought we could continue to compete, and then maybe the second half, one or two things happened, and then mentally we had a breakdown, and then it can snowball. You play a great team like Reinhardt, you play them really good for a quarter, it's 21-17 or 24-17, and you come back and you let something into your head, which we won't allow this year, and a good team like Reinhardt will capitalize on that, and they did. But those are the teams we want to play. And I tell that to people all the time. I said, St. Andrews, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, we cannot have a soft schedule and look to advance. It's not in the cards for us. If we were a dominant team for many, many years and we had a soft schedule, we'd get the benefit of the doubt. Right now, we get the benefit of nothing. So let's go out and take it. Let's go out and prove to people that we're going to be competitors.
Well, Coach, I know I've taken a lot of your time here today. We'll let you go. We'll be back with you after let's say after the players arrive. Let's do another get together. Talk a little bit about who showed up and what you got going on, and then we'll get ready for some football.
Appreciate that, sir. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting times, and appreciate all the support that 485 Sports gives to us. You're really getting our message out there, and we're going to turn some football around here and make some believers and some folks here soon.
Coach, we got to correct one thing. You got to stop calling me sir. It's Mark.
Yeah, it's habit.
I appreciate the politeness, but it's just Mark. But good talking with you, Coach. Let's sign off here, and we'll be back again to talk before we get ready for some football. St. Andrews, the Knights in Laurinburg, and that season opener coming up against Weber. What day is that, Coach? The
26th.
26th of August. So we've got a few days, but you got a lot of work to do between now and then.
Tons.
All right. For Coach Robert Curtin, I'm Mark Plemmons, 485 Sports, Radio Free Cabarrus, St. Andrews College Football. Thanks a lot for joining us, folks.